$4. That's what your $1,000 earns you in a savings account over an entire year. $4. While the price of everything around you climbs higher every single month, you're not saving money. You're watching it evaporate in slow motion, and the bank is smiling while it happens. Let me show you the math nobody explains clearly. Prices rise on average 2 to 3% every year. Your bank pays you less than 0.5% in return. That gap is small enough to ignore today and large enough to bankrupt your retirement over 30 years. A woman in Ohio once kept $40,000 in a savings account for 15 years, untouched, safe. By the time she needed it for her daughter's college tuition, that money could buy roughly what $30,000 could have bought when she first deposited it. She didn't lose money on paper. She lost it in real life, one invisible percentage point at a time. So where does smart money actually go? 10 places. And number 7 is the one almost nobody talks about. So stay with me. Start with index funds, because this is where most self-made millionaires quietly built their fortune. Instead of gambling on one company, you buy a small piece of hundreds of them at once. The S&P 500 has averaged close to 10% a year over the long run before adjusting for inflation, which means roughly and only as a long-term average, your money can double every 7 to 10 years if you leave it alone. No stock-picking talent required, just the discipline to not touch it when the market gets scary. Next, real estate, but not the version that requires a $500,000 mortgage. Real estate investment trusts let you own a slice of shopping malls, apartment complexes, even data centers for the price of a single share. Some trade for under $50, others for several hundred. So the entry point depends entirely on which one you pick. By law, they're required to pay out most of their profits directly to you as dividends. Your money doesn't sit and hope. It gets put to work immediately. Now here's where the story gets sharper. In 2017, a college dropout named Eric Finman turned $12,000 of Bitcoin into over $1 million by the time he was 18. Same year, a different investor poured his entire $40,000 savings into Bitcoin at its peak near $20,000 a coin. Within a year, it dropped to around $3,200. He'd lost over 80%, and he wasn't some naive beginner. He was a software engineer who thought he understood risk. Same asset, same year. Two completely opposite endings. That's cryptocurrency in one story, capable of making you rich, equally capable of wiping you out, depending entirely on timing you cannot control, which is exactly why nobody serious puts their whole savings into it. Bonds sit at the opposite end of that emotional roller coaster. Government bonds are essentially loans you make to a country, and they pay you interest for the privilege. They won't make headlines. What they will do is quietly cushion your portfolio when stocks and crypto are having their worst week of the year. The financial equivalent of a seatbelt you forget exists until you actually need it. Here's number 5, and it might be the most underrated investment on this entire list: yourself. A single certification, a new skill, a fluent second language. Any of these can add thousands of dollars to your income every single year for decades. Warren Buffett has said publicly that the best investment you'll ever make is in your own abilities. Unlike every other asset here, nobody can inflate this away, tax it into nothing, or crash it in a market panic. Gold works on a completely different logic than everything before it. It pays no dividend, produces nothing, just sits in a vault. But for over 5,000 years, when currencies weaken and markets panic, gold has been the one thing people still trust. Think of it less as a way to grow your money and more as a fire extinguisher. You hope to never need it, but you're grateful it's there the one time you do. Now, the one I promised you. Small business ownership, not necessarily starting your own, buying into someone else's. This could mean purchasing equity in a local business, becoming a silent partner in a franchise, or lending capital directly to an entrepreneur you trust. Done well, the returns can dwarf anything the stock market offers. Done carelessly, you can lose every dollar if that business simply fails, which is why this path demands real due diligence, not just enthusiasm. Your own home is number 8. Used differently than most people use it. Paying down your mortgage faster, renting a spare room, or buying a second property specifically to generate rental income turns a place you live into a place that pays you. It moves slower than stocks, and it's far less exciting than crypto, but it's one of the only assets on this entire list you can physically live inside while it quietly grows. Peer-to-peer lending is stranger and newer. Platforms now let ordinary people become the bank, lending directly to strangers and earning interest rates that often beat anything a savings account offers. But remember, there's no safety net catching you here. If that borrower doesn't pay you back, there's no institution stepping in to cover your loss. Higher reward always walks hand in hand with higher risk. No exceptions. And the last one surprises people because it barely feels like investing at all. An emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, kept boring and liquid on purpose. Here's the twist. Most videos like this one skip entirely. The single biggest threat to everything else on this list isn't a market crash. It's being forced to sell your investments at the worst possible moment because life threw an emergency at you and you had zero cushion to absorb it. So which of these 10 actually made people rich? None of them. Alone. Every real story of wealth we've walked through. The woman who lost value doing nothing. The 2 Bitcoin investors on opposite ends of the same year. They all share one hidden thread. The asset was never the real danger. The danger was always what happens in your head the moment that asset drops in value. Fear sells stocks at the exact bottom. Greed buys crypto at the exact top. The people who actually build wealth aren't the ones who pick the single best asset. They're the ones who spread their money across several of these 10 and then have the discipline to do nothing while everyone else panics. Your bank account was never going to make you poor overnight. That's not how it works. It was going to make you poor quietly. One comfortable, safe decision at a time for 30 years until you finally noticed. The real question was never which of these 10 assets is the right one. It's whether you're still willing to let your money sit still while everything around it keeps moving.